Hello, right, we're back, and I'm hoping this time we have a decent connection. I think there's a thing going on outside with BT. I don't know. I can see a van, but that means nothing. Nobody will tell you anything, will they? So let's hope we've got a connection now. And anybody in here? Let's have a look. At the moment, we haven't got anybody commenting, but we will see if anybody comes back. Give it a moment. Right, it is working because I can see that we've got viewers. So whoever's just joined us, well, you give us a hello, and then I know that everything's connected and we are working okay. It does say excellent connection, so that's always a good sign. Hey, right, Kevin's back. Thank God for that. Right, so, oh dear, do you hate it when you sit here talking to myself and thinking, where is everybody? But anyway, it's okay. So we got as far as putting this rhythmic pattern in. I'm just wondering now if the audio's okay. I'm sure the audio's fine. I'm guessing you can hear me okay, Kevin. So this is what we've got in here at the moment. Now I'm going to go to the bass. So what I'm going to do to get the bass to record is hold my finger where it says bass in text, and you'll see it turns red. Now there's a little icon of a piano that is telling me that the bass is actually set to piano, which I don't want. I don't need a piano as bass. So I'm going to go into bass, and I'm going to use this lovely E-bass rock that is the bass voice I've just chosen. So now I can literally start the style recording just by pressing the start stop, and it's just going to carry on looping. Are we ready? Okay, so we've now got a bass line as well. So we're getting there. We've got drums. Hey, we've got somebody from rugby. DN1. Is that a Darren? Or is it, I don't know. It could be anything, couldn't it? Anyway, hello rugby. Welcome to, not quite Brazil, but... It's not far off. Hello. What's the weather like in rugby? It's miserable and cold here today. Right, so I'm going to go to chord 1. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to hold down chord 1. And I'm going to press the piano and change it to an acoustic guitar. I don't want a mandolin. Absolutely not. Right, now one of the things that I don't know I can't figure it out in actual fact. One of the things that Yamaha do is when you're putting phrases in, you have to play them in C major 7. Which kind of throws you, because you think, why the hell am I playing it in C major 7? In the Ketron, you can play it in C major, and it works perfectly like a charm. I've got to actually say, and in defense of Ketron, the module that I'm playing with has much more advanced style creating facilities than this does, but it's not reliable. So you think, I'd love to use this because the Ketron's got all these wonderful features that even the Yamaha doesn't have. I mean, Ketron is way advanced for programming the styles on the machine, and I mean way advanced. But you'll start doing something and it'll sort of just lock up. So you're wasting your time. So I'm back to Genos today, sort of just showing you this. I'm hoping that there's going to be a proper decent update for the Ketron because it needs one. It's not reliable. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm picking guitar. But I've got to play that phrase in a C major 7. that's all well and good, and that's very nice, but it doesn't have that like sort of strum feel to it. You can sit and do all that, and it just doesn't sound real. But one of the things that you can do, and this is really sneaky, is you can nick parts from other styles that Yamaha have created. So if you want to, you can, if you go into assembly, you can actually pick other parts from styles. However, yet again, Bugland, there's an issue that's happened with. I've reported this 2 months ago and still no update has come. You can pick parts from styles, and this is kind of style roulette, because what will happen is if I go into, say, something in Latin and pick a particular phrase, looking for a guitar. I like that. Now, I like that, but this is where it becomes Russian roulette, because I found that the keyboard, if you, for example, decide you like that and you want to save that into a style, there's a bug with the system in so much that the keyboard on some styles, and we have no idea what they are, it won't allow you to save them. So when you go to save the style, it says style cannot be saved, disk error, or something similar. So what I recommend doing before you go down the route of programming a lot of work is at this stage, click save. Save here, and I'm just going to call it Latin. Okay. Now at this point, if it says it's saved, which it has, ta-da, we don't seem to have a problem. So we're safe. So now I've got a style with a pre-programmed style from Yamaha with the Latin guitar. That sounds much more realistic than me going, you know what I mean. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm still going to record on chord 2 the guitar phrase that I did want to. So we're going to have 2 guitars. Right, let's try that. Right, that sounds much more realistic. We've got Mad Hippie Chick, is it CC? Oh no, it's not. It's Colin. Colin from Sunnybury, land of your black pudding. Hello, Colin. Thanks for joining in. I hope you're okay. We've actually got a lot of viewers, and yet nobody has said. Give us a hello on the chat, for heaven's sake. You know, don't hide in the shadows. Do say hello, please. The idea of this is we can all sort of, check in and say where we are and where we're from. But it's always nice to see everybody and to hear from you. So if you are watching, please tell me where you're watching from. So we've got past the possible bug situation that still exists in the Genos 2. No idea when it's coming to be fixed. We don't hear anything from Yamaha pretty much. So now I'm going to pick another phrase. I'm going to record phrase 1. I'm going to put a low piano in because for Latin it's quite effective. So I'm just simply at this stage going to put this. Just shove quantize on there because it's sloppy because it's my left hand. Oh look, we've got. That's it, everybody. We've done Las Vegas Treasure Hunter is with us. Good morning and welcome everyone from a cold Las Vegas. I bet it's bitterly cold out there today. I'm sure it'll warm up a little bit, and I hope you're okay, my friend. Nice to have you on board. Right, so now I'm going to turn that piano down because it's overpowering. And I'm going to over the top record another little piano phrase. Okay, that's happy. Let's just quantize that. That'll do. Right, what we're doing now. So I'm just going to go back and adjust the volumes because the bass is too heavy. So I generally find setting bass to 72, rhythm to 85. The voices in the Genos 2, the way the whole thing's set up, it's much more loud and powerful than the Genos 1. I hate that piano. Let's get rid of that. Let me put some brass in instead. Let me... And this is the one thing you will find. You'll put parts and think, nah, that doesn't work. I don't like that. It's never ever. Try section horns. Yeah. Right, let's put some more reverb on those horns. Just come out of there, adjust the volume of those the horns. So you're controlling all the volumes over here with the sliders. So you want phrase 1, so go to phrase 1. At the moment it's set to 54, we'll take it down to 48. Right, okay, so that's sounding okay for variation A. So I'm just going to click save and save it into my Latin file. Now listen to that. The thing you're listening to is that brass. What happens? Da, 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 and then when I change to G chord, it jumps. Well, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So if you go into Style Creator, go to your horn section, make sure it's highlighted, then go to SFF Edit, and then you're looking for NTR NTT. And what you need to do is on root transpose, you want to say root fixed. So then it's not leaping around to, if I'm going from a C chord to G chord, it's not jumping all over the place. So now if I click save, you'll hear when I change to G, it doesn't leap. But when I change to F, it still moves, but it's not bouncing all over the shop, and that's what makes the Style Creator so nice and easy to use, because you can sort of figure that if you don't want things to bounce around, put them to root fixed. If you want them to move, use root transpose. Right, that's okay for variation A. We like variation A. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut and paste everything that's in A into B. I've seen people using the Style Creator and going to B and then trying to redo the whole thing again. It never works because you're never copying exactly the same. So you're going to have two very weird sounding style patterns. So go to B, go to Assembly, and then on Assembly you want to go where it says Main B and change it to Main A. So it's basically copying everything from A into my variation B. Nice and easy to do. Doesn't take you too long. It would be nice from Yamaha if they did actually have a copy all button to save you having to do this, but it's Yamaha for you, isn't it? So we'll click save. Okay, yes, right. Okay, so now in variation B, I've got the same as variation A. Variation A, they're both now identical. I've literally cut everything out of A and pasted it into B. So now that we're into B, I can add more drums to the drum set. And I can either use the drums that are in rhythm 2, or I've got another set of drums in rhythm 1 which I could quite happily pick. And I quite like snare from rhythm 2. Now at this point you can say, well, why are we getting 2 drum kits? Well, this is where the keyboard, I don't know why it doesn't do this as standard, but this is one of the errors that I guarantee you will make. Somewhere along the line you will do it. In Basic, if I go to variation B, which baffles me, I still have to say to the keyboard, it's actually 4 bars. And because it's defaulted to 1, it's just running everything from the first bar and looping it and making it sound bizarre. So one of the Yamaha things that you have to do is go and make sure it's on 4 bars, 4 pattern length, then go back into assembly and re-link just by simply coming out and going back in again. Back to B, because what happens is it copies everything just into 1 bar. So you end up with the most bizarre sounding style. I know it sounds weird, but this is just how the keyboards worked, and I don't think anybody's actually given it some serious thought. If you're going to create a style with 4 bars, just have it default to 4 bars for the entire selection, not having everyone just default back to 1. It's just stupid. Right, okay, so that's better. So now I can put my snare back in. Right, I've got a snare now, so that's good. Well, what shall we put in? We've got so much choice now in terms of style. We could put some piano back in. Let's try that. Okay, you don't want that too loud, that's going to drive you insane otherwise. Right, so at this point you think, well, okay, what's it sound like when I actually use the style? So what you can do is press exit and then close without saving, but do not do anything other than just play. Right, okay, it's sounding good. Variation A. Okay, that's sounding all right, isn't it? So I'm going to use the same process as we did on the previous variation. So I'm going to turn on C, so it goes orange. And then I'm going to go and not make the same mistake twice. I'm going to go to Basic and say, right, it should be 4 bars. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Assembly and I'm going to copy everything from B this time into C. So we're always moving things from behind forwards. And that's the way you build up the styles, using the same pattern but just adding a little bit extra each time. So now click save. Variation C. What about fills, says John Barnes. Fills are a doddle. Let me show you how to do a fill. Let's put a fill in for B. Okay, so all you do is go into Style Creator, as usual. B, there's the variation for B. So to make a fill in for B, you press B again and it'll start to flash, which indicates that you are now recording or you're creating the fill in for B. It tells you on the screen it's 1 bar, which you can't change, and then you need to go to Assembly. And what you want to do is remember that magic formula where you copy everything from the previous. Well, all I need to do at this point is put B style into B fill. So where it says fill in B, just tap there and you want to say main B. So I'm going to copy everything from main B into fill B. Hope this is making sense for you there. So main B. I mean, this is only scratching the surface, really, but it's just the simple way to sort of sit down and practice. This is how I sort of started. Main B, right. So now if I press start, it'll just play 1 bar, and then you go back and you pick some drum parts that you can use to make a fill. So you start the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start also the beginning of the fill and the very last beat of the fill with a crash. Ready? Now those toms are so loud. I'm just going to go and press drum setup here, and I can then tap the instrument and just adjust the volume. Right, okay, we've now got a fill. Click save. Save here. So now if I start with variation B, press B, so toms are your usual suspects that appear in a fill-in or a snare sort of fill pattern, but that's it, John. That's your sort of, you don't really need, I mean, if you want to put extra sort of voice in, you can do, but I always stick the fill just basically to a drum. Yeah, break is exactly the same, John. What I tend to do, again, I always think break should be, as it says, break. So I don't record any of the style parts into break other than the drum pattern and the fill and the bass, because you need the bass to keep the melody driving. But all the style parts just stop. So for me, a break, when you press break, you'll have the drum, and you'll have the bass and nothing else. And that'll be it. So if I wanted to do a break for this, go into Style Creator, press break, and if I want to, I could start even copying the fill-in from B. So I could go Assembly, where it says break, just tap, and change that to fill B, fill in B. Go back to fill in B. There. I'll make sure the bass is fill in B. So now if I press start, I've just got drum and bass. And if I wanted to go crazy and put something extra in, some more drum, let's put that in. Right, click save. So now, you know it's that because you just put those little sort of rattle noises in. I can't remember that. Is it Guiro or Giro or I don't know. variation B brings in the snare, but it's not doing much else. So I want some sort of hi-hat action going on. Let's try that. Click save. Save here. Yeah, okay. So now when I go from variation A, and it's essentially, if you think of these loopers that everybody seems to be using, and it's all in a rage. Everybody's got a looper. Even Ed Sheeran's got a looper. This is probably the very world's first looping system, because that's how the style works. It just keeps looping based on the variation that you put in the style part. Now, at the beginning, I said to you we can start with 4 parts, 4 bars. And then it will just loop after 4 bars. If you want to go a bit more advanced, say for example when we get to variation C, we want to put a few extra drum parts in, because you don't want any drum part repeating too much because it sounds like a machine. So all you can do is with letter C, variation C, go to basic and say, right, I want to make this now 8 bars. So I'm going to go 8 bars. So now this is going to loop after 8 bars. Which means if I want to put some nice little sort of... Let me put some of those in, because that's the sort of instrument you don't want repeating, because it's just going to sound tedious. So I can put some in at the beginning, I'll wait, and then put some towards the end. Go, it's in. I've got 8 bars now. Click save. So this particular variation C is going to have more going on in it. So now the drum parts are going, but it's not been as repetitive. You could even go as far as to make this 16 bars or 32 if you so wished. You could go, I think it's 128 you can do from memory. I'm working from memory. So let's go back into here and let's put some nice snare in. Now, one thing that you won't find on the Yamaha style is they don't like to make sort of, how can I describe this? Styles that are more interesting. They're very sort of bum cha, and they go all the way through with the same pattern. I much prefer I prefer plug the drummer in basically and make him sort of do his job. So let's put a couple of crashes in there. Right, okay, that's getting a lot more active in terms of drums. Probably a bit too active, but there you go. it sounds more real because those drummers aren't dead on in time, and also they're playing as a drummer would. He would put his own little fills in. We got a message from Alan. Hi Lee, thank you for guiding us all through the style perambulation. This is so powerful for style creators. Thank you, Lee. Honestly, Al, this is just stuff I've sort of come to realise, and sort of I don't like the styles that just sound like tedious machines, whereas by putting your own little sort of it sounds like your drummer's actually having fun. So yeah, Martin Wilson in Lincolnshire, watching and learning as usual. You poor thing. Hiya Martin, how you doing? And of course we've got John and Las Vegas Treasure Hunt. There's a whole host of people in here at the minute, and not everybody is saying hello. Come on, say hello. Tell me where you are, more to the point. If there's anybody outside the UK, say now. So let's go back into Style Creator, and we're getting up to variation 4 now. So the same process every time. It's like that thing that's popular in Germany in Christmas, is it New Year, where there's an old lady who has guests to dinner, but they're not real. It's just the butler. I think it's called Dinner for One. It's the same thing every time. You just keep doing the same thing. So in fact, let's make it 8 bars, because I'm going to copy variation C and go to assembly, and I'm going to copy C. See how you learn Spanish. C. Come on, Yamaha, put copy all, please, on the next keyboard. If you do, I'll promise to buy one. Right, okay. Right, okay, so now we've got that, and we've still got 2 instrument parts to go. So I'm going to shove in, what shall we have? I'm going to put an electric piano in there, I think. I don't want anything that's ballady, because it's going to be too lost. It's got to be something that's got punch. Okay, let's quantize that, because that's all over the show. And come out of there, and then we need to adjust the volume, because the electric piano player is... Right, so what did we... Was it rhythm 1 that we put that... Yeah, it was. There we go. We have rhythm 1, rhythm B, copy over the rhythm 1 part. So now that's our version D. And that drummer just needs turning down a bit. He's too loud. Right, I think that's sounding about right. So we go from this. Variation B. Variation C. D. Drums are going mental on that. Right, okay. So, just going back in for one final time, just to have a look. And on variation D, we do still have a part available. So what I'm going to do, just out of for fun, is I'm going to put a string note in there, just to hold. Just hold it down for the full 8 bars. And just look at the screen, and John says, "What about some strings?" John, you're just spot on there, mate. You've just you got there before I did. Right, there you go. Now, do you remember when I said to you before, you don't want parts leaping all around the place? What you want is some sort of consistency with the strings, because you don't want them moving too far. So just go back into SFF Edit, NTR, and you want to make sure that root fixed is on there and it's a melody. And then we just click save. So now it will play the 5th note up, G, but it won't jump. It won't jump around. So we've got our little B variation fill. B. Okay, so we could be naughty and copy B fill to all the other fills, but I don't feel that that's ever right to do that. I mean, I know I've just nicked it for the break, so obviously that's the same as B. So we've got the same fill, but just taking out all the backing parts. Trumpet solo, says he's way ahead of me. Oh dear. John, what are you doing? Yeah, trumpet solo. If I just put that in there and come out of here. There is in here some fantastic some trumpets. Put another set on voice 2. And another set on 3, so we're going to have three sets of horns. Oh dear, it's going to be a big one. That's what she said. Fred Jones. I'm looking for something. Right, okay, so now we just need to adjust the volumes. Oh, we've got somebody from Iceland. Well done. Is it Matthias Glassen? Hello, welcome to our crazy video. Say hello to everybody. Matthias, nice to have you with us. Really very nice to have you with us. So voice wise you can put horns in there and do that sort of thing. The one thing you can't do is stick solo phrases into variation, because whenever you move your chord it will try and move the phrase and it never ever works out. That is one of the downsides to the Genos when it comes to style creation, and one of the upsides to the Ketron, because bizarrely with the Yamaha you can't create major and minor intros on said instrument, as when you play in a minor it will play a minor, or if you play a major it plays a major. It doesn't do it. It's a major downfall, and it's never been addressed. Whereas, to my complete and utter shock and horror, when I turned the Ketron on, I thought, hang on a minute, you can actually... So what you can do with the Ketron is you can record major, minor, and I think it's diminished. There's a whole host of different intros you can record. And this also applies to all the variations for the style. So if you play a C major like we're doing now, if I played a C minor, it would actually have the ability to play a different C minor. And this is all done on the instrument itself. Whereas sadly, Genos hasn't sort of quite caught up. So I'm absolutely baffled. I mean, if the two companies got together, they would have a hell of a product, because the Ketron is much more technically advanced than the Yamaha, which I never thought I would ever say. But it is. It really, really is. The one downside to the Ketron that I do find major is the sound quality. This thing is just streets ahead in terms of what it sounds like. But in terms of the Ketron, it's flexible and it can do lots and lots and lots of things when it works. Again, the reliability of it it needs seriously looking at. Yesterday I spent 2 hours getting nearly to the end of a style, and it just decided to lock up, seize completely. Just weird. So your Genos, you can build styles from pretty much nothing. And then the thing is, once you've got to this stage, is to adjust all the volumes and make sure everything just sounds spot on. It's just fine tuning. You've made the basic sort of part. I mean that. Where is it? Yeah, that brass is too loud. You just want to hear it in the background. Sort of thing. Whoa! So there you go. We've done it. We've got from 1 to 4. You might. This is interesting. Mad Hippie CC says that's why I prefer the Ketron. That's why I like the Ketron, but the sound of it is terrible. So if you want to have a keyboard that sounds I really just despair at the sound quality in it. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I don't like it. The technical side of it is clever. They've figured out how to do it, but they quite haven't got how to do it without it crashing. But in terms of quality of sound, this Genos is, and I keep saying on every single video, it's perfection. It sounds like a real instrument. That does not. And I actually, before I started to do this, I thought, should I plug it in and show you how bad the pianos are? And I thought, I haven't got the time. I haven't got the patience to just to show you that when you press a piano. Let me just show you this. This is how bad the Ketron is. You press a piano, and you get pure piano. Nothing. You play the piano on the Ketron, and you get you get the noise in the sample. And if yesterday I tried the harmonica, and if you play the harmonica on D, you get the harmonica noise, and then somebody goes, you can hear somebody coughing in the back of the sample. I had to play it. Honestly, I'm just gobsmacked how it was ever let out the bag. But yeah, try it. Harmonica on the Ketron. Play play D4. Hold the note down. You'll hear the note, and then you'll hear somebody in the background cough, and then it gets cut off. Try it. You'll be amazed that somebody can send an instrument out with coughing in the background. Yeah, failure. So Yamaha still has, even though I can't do major minors, but it plays beautifully. It sounds beautiful, and it just works. So yeah, I'm like I said to you at the beginning, I don't ever get anything for this. This to me is just absolute 100% fun. It's a nice sounding product, and you sit and play it, and there's never anything that you can fault with the quality of the sound. I mean, the pianos in particular are just absolutely stunning. But if you play more than 3-4 notes on the Ketron, you're going to get hiss 1, hiss 2, hiss 3 and hiss 4. And the more notes you play, the worse the noise in the background becomes. Whereas with the Yamaha, there is no hiss whatsoever. It's as clean as a whistle. So that's just something for you to try, because like I say to you, it's all well and good going, oh yeah, this is brilliant, I love it. Listen to the things that are wrong, and then tell me if you're happy having pianos with hiss and mouth organs that have somebody coughing. It's authentic, I suppose, yeah. It does say on the box, sounds real. Well, yeah, okay. I'm surprised you didn't hear him opening the little box for his harmonica, but there you go. Anyway, I'm not slating a product off. It's just fact. It's what it is. But it does make me laugh when people go, oh, this is better than that one. And, it's ultimately down to what it sounds like. And if you've got noise on a piano, it's not right. And we're on 5.1. So there you go. So style parts, we've done 4, we've done a break, we've done a fill. Is there anything else that you maybe would like to know today before I disappear? It's been a fun little sort of session this morning. Not the usual sort of just sitting and playing and chitty-chatting. Hey, look, Mad Hippie CC says, thanks, mate. Going to play with my Nexus now. Colin from Mad Hippie. Yeah, Nexus is very good. Nexus is on another level. If they put Nexus in one of these, then I would be over the moon. Nexus is very, very good, but also very expensive if you want all the expansion packs. So yeah, so anything else you would like to know before we close for this little sort of session? All quiet. Colin's already gone by the looks of it. George Christa, what I mean is amazing to listen to these multitudes of your videos again. I just don't know what to do. I also buy a Genos too. I'm extremely desperate. What? Oh, we got the same message twice there, George. Oh, one's gone. Oh dear, bless you. Right, well, anyway, can you play the whole song before the... To be fair, John, I actually hadn't... I haven't done it for any particular piece. It's just, I can do it for whatever. See, that's your fill in there, John. That's what we did for you. I'm just watching. Alice is saying that he likes the Verzi sounds in here, and of course there are some very that's another beauty of Genos 2 is the fact and Genos 1 even, in fact all the SX models as well, is that you can put your own sounds in. You can buy the voices that you like and you can simply load them, and things like the percussive sort of versy sounds. If I go into that particular pack, I can put a delta in. Or the CD guitar. And if I want to create the sort of the nice versy sound, you've got sort of Schlager bells in here that you can sort of increase. Let me just now where is that? What am I putting that on to? Is it 2? Yeah, there we go. So if I want to have the Klaus bells. Of course, I need an ending, which I haven't done. But yeah, you can create some huge sounds with this thing, and the what you do with it is limited to what you're wanting to do with it. There's everything I've ever thrown at this has just been possible. So you've got some of the old Klaus sounds. You've got some of the very old Klaus sounds. Sort of. And again, you can load all of these in and. The world is your lobster. So there you go. As if you were made for each other. I know. I love it. I wouldn't marry it if I could. No, it's been one of the best instruments for every single time I've seen another instrument and I've tried it, and I always end up back at this because one reason only: it all works. I haven't got any qualms with bugs or sort of issues that, apart from the one that I came across, and even Yamaha didn't spot that one, where if you did use a part from some of the rhythm parts, it wouldn't save. But once I'd reported it, they said, yeah, we'll sort it out, but it's just taking too long from my view. It should have been done. When somebody flags a bug with a product that you've sold so many of, it should be done quickly, not take months. But then again, it's not certainly not like another product I can think of that's taken years to get it sorted and it's still not right. So there we go. What's George has put? Yamaha has released some top series, in my opinion. Yamaha Tyros 2 and Genos 2 are the best. Now, I had a Tyros 2 and I've got a confession. I hated it. My Tyros 1 I loved to bits, even the fact it got a floppy disk drive. But when the Tyros 2 came out, I just didn't feel it was a big enough jump from 1 to 2. So that's the time when I got rid of it. I sold it and I went and bought a Roland G800, which that did impress me. That was a fabulous bit of gear. And then the G1000 came out. And that was a disaster. That had so many problems with it. That went back, and I ended up going back to Yamaha. I think Tyros 3 was the next one, and I sort of went Tyros 3, 4, 5, Genos 1, Genos 2. But prior to that, things like PSR 8000. That was a lovely keyboard. I like that. I liked the design of the panel that sort of sloped up from the front with the speaker on top. It was a genius design. Really very, very nice product. But there you go. Anyway, I could sit and talk about keyboards all day. The Ketron is... it's something to play with. I wouldn't call it a serious playing instrument because there's so many issues where if you push something, you just hold your breath and hope it works. Whereas that's the one thing I can only say for Yamaha, because the Korg is still in the same situation. There's still issues with that. And there's people reporting more and more and more problems. And you look on the Genos Yamaha forum, and there's very little. It's only things like user error. Mind you, I did laugh the other day. I saw somebody saying, "How do you plug headphones into a Genos 2?" It's a big thing in here that says, "Look, phones," and there's a hole. I don't get it. Anyway, I could sit here and giggle all day. And look, George says, in my country, this wonderful instrument still keeps its price of 4,000. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's just solid. I think when keyboards, people don't buy them, and when there's an issue with a particular instrument, people stop buying them and the price starts to slope down. But this doesn't, because you don't hear people saying, "Oh, well, I've turned it on this morning and these don't work," or "I've turned it on this morning and none of these have lit up." There's never any issues. That's one thing you can get with the Yamaha products. It's just solid as a rock. So there you go. Anyway, it's turning into a I love Yamaha evening, but it's not, because, like I said to you, if something else came along that was absolutely as good as, if not better, then it would be sat here. I just wait for the day that somebody comes up with a Yamaha killer, but it's never going to happen, is it? It really isn't. So, yeah. So if anybody out there is developing a new product and would like to show me what it is, if you want me to sort of show others, I'm always happy to talk about products. But the one thing you're going to have to bear in mind is I don't lie. I don't sit there going, "Oh, this is brilliant. I want to buy one of these for myself." It's bullshit. Pardon my French, but it is. If you've got an instrument that works, and it works and you have no issues, then that's a good product. But when you've got something and you know it's not working properly, and you still sit there going, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is the best thing." So, no, go away. Not interested. Anyway, God, I'm turning into an old man. I have a blast when I have to take my Taurus apart and fix the buttons and the contacts. Well, to be fair, I'm not surprised. They are, 16 years old now? And if you're playing them on a daily basis, that is one thing that I do know that people have to do, is sometimes update the buttons, because they do wear. But what else would you have for 15 years and you're constantly pressing it like this and not expecting to replace it? But there you go. Anyway, I'm sat here and there's people with things to do. But I will say goodbye, fond farewell. Thanks for watching the video. If you've got any comments, you want to leave any, if there's anything you do know of that I should be taking a look at and trying, leave a comment in the messages below. If you've got one, send it me. Always happy to feature anything on the videos, and always look at new products. So thing is, everybody's terrified to send anything because they know I will give you an honest opinion. So if I'm going to look at something, then be aware that I'm just not going to sit here and go, "Oh, this is brilliant. It's not. So there you go. Anyway, have a great weekend, what's left of it. We're into December already, very soon, tomorrow. So anyway, Mr. Murgatroyd has just said cheerio. I'll say cheerio to you, and goodbye. And we'll see you as and when. Next video, I may connect up the Ketron, depending on if there's any interest, and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, which still exists in it, unfortunately. So yes, if you want to see the Ketron, do leave a comment, say, yeah, I'd like to see it, or if you want to see more Genos, or maybe something else, let me know. Thank you ever so much for watching. Have a great evening. Look after yourselves. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe, and there's a new button, I think, called Hype. I have no idea what that is. I haven't found it. But anyway, apparently there's a Hype button, so yeah, do whatever you want to do. Just click them, and then next time you'll see the videos. Right. Catch you in the week. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.